what it all is. There is a partnership. The costs of the center are shared between the two chambers. Where I am wrong here is that initially it was housed in the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber, but it is now in the U.S.-Mexico Chamber. In fact, my office is now over at the U.S.-Mexico Chamber office, which is a block away from the Irving Chamber. Okay, and then the information that we provide. Again, the objectives, we know what we have to do. Basically, it's help companies, help individuals, do business. And how we do it is one-on-one and events and activities and trade missions and delegations and that kind of thing. Basically, and one of the important things here is that what we try to do in the center is to try to leverage the programs that already exist in both chambers. The U.S.-Mexico Chamber has a fantastic program called Connect Mexico, and it's a program to do an electronic market exchange so that buyers and sellers are able to connect and all of that. So we're working with them on that. And this is just kind of the metrics in terms of on an annual basis what we look to do. I mentioned Mexico for the U.S.-Mexico Chamber, 10 offices. Some of these cities may sound familiar. León, Guanajuato is in the center of the country, and that's where we have our sister city for the Irving Chamber. Monterrey is in the north. Mexico City, of course, is in the south, and Guadalajara is on the Pacific coast. Aguascalientes is towards the center. Veracruz is on the Gulf of Mexico. Puebla is down south of Mexico City. Michoacán is on the Pacific Ocean. Mérida is the Yucatan Peninsula, and of course Cancun, I don't have to tell you where it is. But Mexico is not the only place. We also look to help companies, individuals that may want to bring product or send product to other parts of the world. And we have, through the board of directors that we have experience and expertise in areas like India, Asia, Europe, as well as Latin America. And I won't get into the principles of the Trade Center, but it's kind of intuitive. You know, we know what we need to do, and that is to have a positive impact in the area. We know that our objective is to disseminate information and help companies do business internationally, and then we have some metrics, how we do that. And this is kind of the, when people ask me, well, you know, I've been doing what I've been doing for a long, long time, many, many years in the international arena, but what distinguishes or what helps us help people is the process that we've developed. And we have a process, it's just a quick 4-step process where we establish project profiles. When I ask, and I used to ask people when I was running the office for the U.S.-Mexico Chamber in Monterrey, and I would get people that would call me and ask me, help me, I need to do business with the U.S. So I would ask him, well, what do you want to do? He says, anything. I want to do anything, I just want to make more money. And you know, that's admirable, but I said, well, we need to get more specific because I can't really help you if you, I said, well, I just want to be a distributor. A distributor of what? I said, well, you know, I want to be the sole, what's it called when you're the sole distributor? Exclusive distributor in Mexico for a very successful product that won't cost me anything to get into, that I will make a lot of money. I said, oh my goodness, that's nice. If I were to find this thing, what makes you think I'm going to give it to you? I would tell them. No, the thing to do is to become specific or to focus. What do you want to do? For example, in your business, Joanne, I don't know, perhaps there are opportunities to import unique food products. You know, mole from Puebla, from Oaxaca, and from Veracruz. There are 3 kinds of moles, and you know, maybe you can have a mole festival. And this is and just top of my, you know, I don't know. I don't know that that's what you want to do, but I mean, there are probably, if you sit down and creatively brainstorm, yeah, there may be things. On the other hand, maybe you can develop a product to export, a food product, or cater a wedding in Acapulco. Anyway, we try to use the infrastructure of the U.S.-Mexico Chamber in Mexico. So I can call when someone tells me, look, I'm producing this here in Irving and I would like to sell it in Puebla or Monterrey, Guadalajara, or whatever. So I can just either call or send an email to someone and they will already know whether there are members there that are demanding or have a demand for those kinds of products. And of course I mentioned leveraging the other projects and programs that we already have. There's many projects, programs, initiatives that the U.S.-Mexico Chamber already has. Kind of the metrics, goals, and objectives, I won't get into that. This is really kind of the most important slide. And what it is, it's a little form that I've kind of developed. I'll give one to you, Anita. That where I try to help the person, the people, the entrepreneur, the business, kind of focus in terms of what there may be in terms of an opportunity. If someone, and some people, in fact, a lot of people already know. Exactly, and this mole, by the way, people have come to me and they've said, I would like to import mole from Puebla. And I already have people that sell mole, so that's kind of an easy connection. But those that don't, and I ask them, well, what can you do, or what would you like to do? Some people would like to buy raw material or buy finished product or sell a finished product, and I have some of these examples here. They want to seek a relationship. They want an agent, for example, maybe someone who makes industrial products wants a representative somewhere in Mexico, an industrial salesman, an agent, a distributor, and we help them find those. Some may want to take advantage of the lower labor costs in Mexico. Someone who may be, for example, a steel fabricator here who's maybe bidding on projects, but he's kind of losing his bids because his costs are a little high. Well, maybe he can ship something to Mexico to get manufactured in Mexico at a cheaper cost, and then he can help his business here win more bids and more projects. So these are kind of examples. You can also, I mentioned the X-rays. There are, for the U.S., India is providing a lot of diagnostics of X-rays and training and outsourcing of that time. Mexico is also doing some of that. So this is the form that I provide to the people that either already know what they want to do or want help in finding out what they can do. And then I tell them, the key thing is, it's not going to cost you anything. I don't charge for our services. If you're a chamber member, we sit down and we help you and take you to the process. And in terms of the process, and it's kind of just to finish up here, I call it a value-added proposition, but really the process is that I sit down with someone and we try to put together a profile. What is it that we want to do exactly? And some people already know, I want to build a little warehouse in Monterrey so that I can distribute these products. So we put it in here. Identify the goals, and then I put it into what I call a portfolio of projects. I have a portfolio for Irving, I have one for Monterrey, for Guadalajara, I have 15 of these portfolios. And I have an intelligent matrix that I can go to and will tell me, this company is looking to buy, I don't know, aluminum foundry products. And then I have another one who is producing aluminum foundry products in these countries, so then that's when I make the connection or the match. And then the transaction doesn't automatically happen. Sometimes I may introduce 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 different potentials, and they don't click or they don't match. And I kind of, not that I nudge them along, but I ask, oh, what do you need? Two people sitting down to kind of consummate a transaction doesn't always happen. Sometimes the entrepreneur from the US will not know the accounting implications in Mexico. So I will give them, okay, well, here's an accountant who can help you, or here's an attorney, or here's a consultant on quality that can help you. And that also helps and provides a service to the chamber in terms of being able to give opportunities to other chamber members. So this is kind of a process that we go through with these entrepreneurs to see whether they can take advantage of an opportunity. Now, kind of conclusions, and these are very general off the top of my head. More so in the international arena than locally, it is important to know what can be done. And by that I mean, where is the opportunity? What can you offer? What can you buy? What can you sell? So it is important to know that, because if you don't know that and you're going to contract a marketing consultant to go out and do a research, it's going to cost. It's going to be very costly. So it is key to be able to identify that opportunity. It's also important to be able to use the free contacts and resources that are already there and available. I tell them, come to me, come to the chamber, and if we don't know, we'll go to the government, we'll go to the Commerce Department, there are a lot of resources. I already mentioned the permits, the requirements. It's important to know that what you're doing is legal, that you can't import or you can't export. Because in some areas there are tremendous opportunities, but they're illegal. You can't get into that. Okay, be able to deliver on time. The value-added service is important, but it's also important that it be perceived. I mean, you can have a very valuable service, but if the other person does not perceive that value, he's not going to pay you for it. And I already talked about knowing what you do and doing what you know, and liking it, because that increases your probability of success. Creativity. And here, you use your whole network of family, friends, and everyone to help with the ideas and the operation, with financing, with everything. But again, the map the business plan is important. And sometimes I get down to help them with the business plan. In fact, I taught at Western Illinois University business plans and innovation for a couple of sessions. And in my 20 years with Mobil, I did thousands of business plans. They're very, very tedious, but they're very necessary. And what's important about the process of a business plan is not the plan itself when you finish it, it's the process of doing it, because that's what makes you think. You know, what do I want to do? How do I want to do it? And what is it going to leave me? What are the results of this? So the business plan, that map is very, very important. Again, using the chambers, the institutional organizations that are out there, and I think I had a final comment that I wrote down here. Is that it? Yeah. Only the note that I've seen it many times that businesses in Mexico or here or in other countries, that they don't look to the international arena. They don't know, they can't understand how it can enhance their profitability, but it can. If you look at it, if you analyze it, there may be opportunities there. So that's what I say. The Trade Center is here to help those that want to look at that area, and it's not going to cost anything, so except a little bit of time investment. So that's basically the structure of the presentation that I had, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
What is the current political climate in Mexico doing as negatively impacting doing business with Mexico? You know, the border issues with all the killings and...
It is. Mexico is going through a very tough time, and it is a real tough time because the administration, the president, Calderón Hinojosa has been on a campaign for 3 years to hit crime, and it's been very successful. So they've gotten very desperate, and in their desperation, you know, they've launched this. Basically, it's a war between the cartels. Right. And in these wars, because there's several wars, several fronts anyway. One of them called the Cartel del Golfo, the Gulf Cartel, that's principally in the state of Tamaulipas. A group called the Zetas, and there's all these other cartels. And they're fighting for control and for power in the various areas. They've gotten very gruesome, very, very violent.
Are they basically killing each other?
Killing each other principally. However, in the process, some innocent bystanders are also getting killed. Right. And that's sad. Now the numbers indicate that when you look at the statistics for crime in Mexico are no greater than places. In fact, they're greater in Brazil and Colombia and some other places. But I mean, not that that's an excuse. You know, any crime is more crime than we need. And it is sad. There is another aspect of crime